Good everyone, my name is Graphics. Today we want to draw the assemble of a bearing. If you look at the top right corner of the screen, you see a exploded diagram of a bearing remover. Now we are told to assemble this component together. Now to give you a clearer view, this is what we are about to draw. If you look closely, you discover that we have the legs, right? We have the plates where the components are coming together, are being assembled, and we have what is called the forcing screw, right, which we all have here. Now we have our rivets here that we use to hold these two legs in this plate here, right? So this is the front elevation and this is the end view of this plate. Similarly, this is the front elevation and this is the end view of this forcing screw. Like I will say in my previous video, which you can just click at the top right corner of the screen here, you draw your part list, right? It is important, showing the component and what they are made of. Now you will now assemble this part. So in assembling this part, this is what we'll be having. First thing, we'll start from the plate because this is the center of all the components. Everything is added to this plate. Now you might be wondering that where will I start from? Let us start from here. Let's draw just like we see it. Let's draw it out. So first of all, you draw an horizontal line this way. You draw an horizontal line this way. You can see that. Now from the horizontal line, you pick a point. Let's see, this is a point we are picking. Now from that line, you are going to measure. You're going to measure from here to here, which is given as what, 70. So we're going to measure 70. So you're measuring 70. This is what we are going to be having here. So from 0 to this point here is what, 70, right? So that point 70, I am going to thicken it. Is that ticking? I'll thicken it from here straight down to this point. That is my what? The 70 I have. Now the next thing I'll do is I'll draw a vertical line coming down from those two ends, and I'll be having something like this, which is this. Just draw a vertical line downward this way, right? So I have my vertical line downward, and I'll come here also. I'll draw my vertical line downward this way. Now I'll be using my faint line. I will not thicken them. If I do that, I've done that aspect now. Now before we move forward, you discover that from this point where this line is inclined to this point here, it is given as what, 30, right? So I'll get the center of 70, then I'll measure 30. That is 15 to the left and 15 to the right. This is the 30 I'm talking about. If you look at this 30, these two ends, that is where it is coming out from. So I'll measure, first of all, get the half of 70. From here to here, 70, right? And the center is 35. So I'm going to measure it straight down. What? Let's confirm that again. 70, right? So this is 30, 35. So I'm going to take it downward this way with my faint line. You can see that. So I will measure the height of this, and the height of this is given as let's see, the height of this, right? So if I'm measuring the height of this, we're having to be what? Look here, this is 45. So I'll measure 45 from this point. 45. So this 0 to this point here is what? 45. That is where I'm going to draw my horizontal line this way. So this is the center here where they are meeting. So I told you that where it meets from here to here is from here to here, which is 30. So I'm going to measure 15 left and right. So I can easily take my compass, right? I can easily take my compass from here. Then this is 15, right? So I'm going to place it at this point, and I'll mark 15 here, and I also mark 15 here. You can see that. Now similarly, the height, if you look where we've already gotten these 2 points here, which is here and here, right? The next thing is to draw. If you look at this point, it is inclined, so the next thing for me to draw the point at which is inclined here. So if you look at it from here to this point, it's given as what? 10. So I'll measure 10. So let me measure the 10 now. So from this point here, I'm going to measure 10. From here to here is 10. And then from here to here also is 10. So this is where I'm going to draw my line to meet. This way. Faint line. And from here to here, faint line. Right? So I've done that. I've brought out this shape out. You can see the shape. So the next thing I am going to be doing here is that this point here where they meet here, this circle here is this circle here. Mean that this thing is fitted into this circle, right? That is diameter what? Diameter 10. So let me locate where this point is. I know the point is on the is 20 millimeter on the vertical, right? So let's all measure 20 millimeter. If I do that, from base here to this point here is what? Is 20, right? So I can just mark this point is straight line this way to show that this is my 20 line. Is that taken? So from that point, I want to get the center of this. So if you look very well, from here to here is 50, right? And that is where I'll get the center of this circle. So I'm going to measure 50. So from the center here, I'll measure 25, 25. So my meter rule, I'll measure 25 on my meter rule. This is 25, right? And I'll place it at the center here, and I'll mark 25 here, and I'll also mark what? 25 here, right? So that's what I'm going to do. So from that point, I'll take my set square this way. I'm going to project it upward just because I want to get this point here. So this is my center here, and this is also my center here. I'll use faint line. So I've gotten the true center at this point, right? I can decide to use my center line at that point here. So let me just use the center line. So I have a long one, a short one, long one, short one, and long one. You can see that? And here also, can use it. Short one, long one, short one, long one, and short. Just like this. Then here also do the same thing. So I have this, I'll just put it here. Short, long, and short. Here also, I'll do the same thing. So this is the center line that we have there. Now, in doing that, we'll move forward. From what we have here, I want to start inputting this. Now, if you look closely, discover that this external circle here has a radius of what? 15. From where? From the center here. So I'll take my compass and I'm going to measure 15. I'll measure 15 from here to here is 15, right? And I'll put it at the center here. And I'm going to draw an arc this way. Faint line first. I'll draw what? An arc this way, faint line. I'll come here also. I'll do the same thing here. I'll draw another arc this way, faint line, because they are twin for the two legs. Is that okay? Now, if you discover that from the end of this circle here, there's a straight line coming down. So I'll just take my my t-square and set square to be of help there, and I'll project that line downward with my faint line, straight line down this way. Then I'll come here also, I'll project this one down also this way. Is that taken? Now, what is the total height of that line? The total height of the line, if you look closely, is giving us what? 145. from this center here, 145. So I can easily measure 145 here, from 0 here to this point is given as what? 145, right? So I'm going to measure the 145 on my meter rule here. Let me say this is 145 here, right? So what I'm showing you, let me show you what I'm actually talking about from here. This is my 145. So at this point here is my 145 here. So let me just draw it a straight line there, this way, my 145. So I'll just attach it down. I'll come here also, attach it down. So that's what we have first of all. So the next thing I'll be doing here is that I can just easily draw this down. Is that taken? What I'm simply going to do is, there's a radius here, and the radius is given as what? As 40. Now if you notice it now, this is going in, and in my video on tangency, I told you that when you have a porthole this way, like an external circle, right? An external circle, you're going to what? You're going to add. So the way it is, when you have a porthole, you want to fill. So whenever you have anything like this, it's like you're filling. So you add the radiuses. So if I add 40 and 15, I'm going to have 55, right? So I'm going to measure 55 on my meter rule. On my meter rule, 55. This is 55 here on my meter rule, right? And I'll place it at the center here, and I'm going to strike and arc this way. I'll do it for both sides because they are identical. So I'll do it for both sides. You can see that to save my time. Now the next thing I'll do is, you discover that where they start joining is 35 away from the center of this circle, where they start joining. So I'm going to measure 35 downward from here. So measure 35 from this point. From 0 to here is what? 35. So I'll use my T-square, and I'm going to join the 35 from here to here. You can see that. So that my 35 I'm drawing. Then the next thing is the thickness of the end of this end to this point says what? 18. So I'm going to measure 18 from here, this end point here, because the end point here is here, and I'll measure 18. This is 10 and this 18 around this spot here, right? So I'll just use my meter rule, and I'll just, this is this point I'm actually going to, this point here, right? So I'll use my meter rule, and I'll just draw a straight line downward from that point. So I'll draw a straight line downward, just a little, this way. Fine. So what I did here, that I got my 18, right? I'll also do it here also because they are the same. So I'll draw this downward. So I'm doing them simultaneously. So I'll just draw this here. So my arc is actually touching those 2 points. So from this point here, from this circle to here, I'll get my arc, right? So what I'll do is, let me just complete this a little bit to just get my full circle from here. So just get my full circle. I'm using my faint line. So just get my full circle. You can see that. Now let's start. So since I've done that earlier, now the next thing, I've drawn my arc 70. So the next thing is, since there's no circle here, it means the radius here is what? Of the circle here is 0, right? So what I'll just do, I'll just measure 40 on my meter rule. I'll measure 40 on my meter rule. From here to here is 40. That is the radius that we are looking for, 40, right? Then I'll place it at this point here, and I'll draw an arc. I'll do the same thing too, place it at this point here, I'll draw another arc. I'm doing them simultaneously because they are the same. So this is my two center point here. This is my 2 points here. This arc, this point for this, and this for this. I'm trying to draw, look closely, I'm trying to draw this. Now I'll now place my compass at that point and take it to where I want to join, which is this, then I'll connect. So this is what I'm having. So I'm only taking from here to here, then I'll just draw faint line here. Right? I'll come here also, just to connect to this point. So I'll only taking from here to here, then I'll just draw faint line here because it's not supposed to pass there. So what I'll do is, I'm going to look closely now. I've gotten those two arc there of radius 40. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to come down here. Now this line is joining something here, and what is it joining? I must measure what? The height of 6 first of all. So let's measure the height of 6. This height of 6 here, I'll measure it. I'll start from 15. So this is 0, 5, and this is 6. Right? So I'll just use my meter rule. I'll just connect those 2 points together. 6. So I don't want to just repeat, so this will help me do that. Now the next thing is I'll measure the 6 of the height here, and the next one is the thickness. I'll measure is what? Is 8. So I'll measure 8 from here. I'll measure 8 from here. From here, this is 8. So here also I'll measure 8 too. This is 8 here. I'm doing them simultaneously. So what I'll just do is, from this point, you look at it from this point, which is this point here, I'll draw a straight line coming down here. So first of all, let me use my faint line first. I'll draw a straight line coming down here. Straight line here first. You can see that. And from here also, I'll draw a faint line coming from here. Here. Is that okay? Now after doing that, you discover that they're telling us that we have a radius of 3. It's too small. So if somebody doesn't that, I'll just use my hand and just connect here to here this way. Right? I'll just do that this way. It's very small. That again. So the next thing I'll do here is that I'm going to, so after I've done that, that means I'm going to thicken from this point straight down here. Can you see that? I'll thicken from this point straight down here. That's the first one. I'll come here also. I'm going to thicken from this point too to this point. Again. Can you see that? So the next thing I'll do is, if you look at this point here now, we have a radius of what? Radius of 5. Like it is a fillet here also, right? So what I'll do is I'll measure radius of 5 on my meter rule. Radius of 5. This is it here. And I'll place it at this end here. I'll strike an arc up, left, right, here. And with the same radius, I'll place it here. I'll strike another arc. I'll place it here. I'll strike another arc. So where they meet at this point, that is where I'm going to join this together. Then I'm going to join here and here together. You can see that? I'll come here also, I'll do the same thing, the 5. I'll place it here, mark up, I'll mark down, come to this point, strike an arc, come to this point also, strike another arc. So where they meet, place my compass at that end, then I'll draw this out this way. You can see that? So it means that I'm going to thicken from this point to this point. can see that. I'll come here also. I'm going to take in from this point to this point. Can you see that? So the next thing I'll be doing here is that if you look closely, the length of this is 20 to this tip here. Right? So I'm going to measure 20 from this end here. Measure 20, so this is 20 here. I'll also do the same thing here too, since it is identical. Here's 20 here. And I'll use my meter rule and I'll raise it up there to show that that is. So after you've drawn the line from the point, you measure 20 from here. After you've drawn the line, I'll do the same thing here also, right? So I'll now chamfer it, because if you look at this diagram here, what we have is that it is a curve that is there, right? So I'll do the same thing. I'll chamfer it. We have a radius of what? Radius of 10 that's given here. If you look at it, we have radius of 10. So I'll measure the radius of 8 of 10 on my meter rule this way. Radius of 10 on my meter rule. Let me measure the radius of 10 here. So I'll start from 1. From 1 to 2 is 10. Right? So I'll place it at this point. I'll cut up. I'll cut down. I'll do the same thing here too. I'll cut up and I'll cut down. Then I'll come here also where I cut. I'll place it at that point and I'll strike an arc this way. I'll come here also. I'll strike another arc this way. I'll do the same thing here too. Strike an arc here. Come here also. Strike another arc this way too. Can you see that? So where they meet, that is where I'm going to now draw my curve from this point. So I'll draw the curve this way. Can you see that? I'll draw the curve this way. I'm going to take in it. Then I'll come here also. I'll draw the curve to this way. So I'll use my meter rule. Now I'm going to connect these 2 points together called a straight line. So I'll connect here. I'll come here also connect here. So join here to here. And also join here to here. So we have drawn out this guy. So now I can now confidently take in this plate I have here. Then I'll take in here, not to this point, I'll just stop here. Just take in from here to here. Then I'll take in from here to here. Right, then I'll close here up from here to here. I'll also close here up from here to here. Right, then with the help of my compass, I will take in this part here. Just up here. With the help of my compass here also, I'll do the same thing here. You can see that. So now I don't really, these are all hidden line here. So proceed. Now the next thing we are going to do is I will take in from here to here, which is given as this end, this edge here. A straight line is drawn up, so I'll draw that line up. On this end, I'll draw a straight line up this way. From this end here, I'll also draw a straight line up this way. Right, so the next one is 30-30. This one is 30-30. Next one is 20-20 also. So look at it, from this one to this one here is 30, from here to here is 20, so I'll measure 20. So I'll just get 10 from the center. So let me just measure 10 on my meter rule. From 0 to 1 is 10. To place at this point, I'll mark here, and I'll also mark here. With the help of my T-square, I'll project it up with a straight line. Here, and I'll project it up with a straight line here. Now, I've done this. So the next thing I'll be doing here will be to draw the screw. They call it the forcing screw. Is to draw the forcing screw. And the forcing screw is just this here, right? And the length of the forcing screw, this is the forcing screw we have here. So the length is giving us what? 120 here, right? So I'll just take my meter rule and I'll just draw a straight line this way first, like this. And I'll come here also, I'll do the same thing too, like this. Because the diameter of the forcing screw here is 18. So I'll just place it at the center. I'll measure 18 to the left and 18 to the right. How did I get the 18? We are told that it is M18, right? It's given us M18. That is why I'm doing that. Is here M18. So let's move forward. M12, sorry, given to be M12. So if you multiply 12 by 1.5, you have 18, and you measure 9 to the left and 9 to the right. So this is what we have. Then I will now measure the height of 120. I'll measure the height of 120. So if I do that, this is what I'll be having. Can actually pull it from anywhere. Can just say, okay, from this point to 13 is 120. So I can just come here and say this is my 113 here. Or I can really put it from here, this way. Or increase the board if I want to. So let me make it to be 130. So I'll stop here. 130. So I'll close it up. Now also close it up. So we are given here to be the thickness, the distance between two of them here is given to be 26. So from the center here, I'll just draw a straight line up, and I'll measure it to the left and to the right. So I can just see here, this is 10, this is 10, 15, let me say 15, there is another 10, 15, there's a 15 here. So I'll just draw my straight line this way, touching here, the other one touching here too. The thickness is given as 5. So it's given as 5. So measure 5 up this way. This way is my 5. Let's close it up. So the pen, stop here and stop here. So now if you look at this is falling in the center. This thickness here, and it's given to be 30. From here to here is 30, right? So what I will just do is, from the center of this two here, I'll measure 15 up and 15 down. So this is 15 up, and this is this 15 up, this 15 down. So I'm going to close it up there. I'll close it up here. This is what, and there's this thickness down here that's given, right? So I'm going to measure it. It should be 3, diameter of 3 if I'm not mistaken. So I'll just draw from here. And from here also. And I'll close it up. So we already drawn the most important aspect of it here. This is what, if you look clearly, is what you'll be bringing out. This is what you'll be bringing out. This is the pressing screw. This is the pressing screw. Then I'll take in here too. Stop here. I'll take in here too. Stop here. So this is what we're having. There's still one more thing we've not drawn here, and that is the rivet here, right? And the diameter of the rivet here is given to be the radius is 3. This radius, the diameter is given to be, let's see, not actually given here, but I know that it is given to be that will be 10. So measure 10. This 10 here, look at diameter 10 is given. So I'll place it here, and I'm going to draw this way. I'll come here also, do something here, this way. Right? So I have successfully completed everything. So this is the claw, the pressing screw, the plate here, right? And the rivets that we have. So if you found the video helpful, please don't forget to click on the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.